Hey, welcome back to another video. I'm Dakota Hoyle with the According to Hoyle YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about sound control in your TV studio or for the studio for your YouTube channel. But before we get started, please make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel to get the notification on our latest video. And without further ado, see you on the other side of the intro. Alright, so we're talking about sound control, and I'm going to be honest, if your content is decent, people can ignore the fact that your shots are trash, your color correction's not good, you're overexposed, and everything else. They can't ignore the fact that your audio is horrible. They might last 5-10 seconds, and then they're going to somebody else's video that has a little bit better audio. So this entire video is about different techniques, different materials to use to control your sound to give you the best clarity going into your mic. So first off, let's go into a little background on how sound works. So everybody knows from science class that sound is actually a mechanical wave that requires a medium to travel through. For example, air is a medium that sound can travel through. That's the reason why you're hearing my voice come out of your speakers and then go into your ears without having anything connected to them. Sound can also travel through desks, floors, walls, anything like that. But let's go a little bit more in detail. Why does it matter about controlling your sound if it travels through a medium and stuff like that? Sound also likes to bounce off of hard surfaces. So hard surfaces could be, for example, concrete floors, tile floors, concrete walls, a metal ceiling, anything that's a hard surface is going to bounce sound. So for example, the TV studio in my classroom has cement walls, windows, a metal roof, because it used to be the old shop class, and then it has some weird like stick-on tile laminate floor stuff. I'm not 100% sure what it is. It's a hard surface, so the audio in the TV studio is atrocious sometimes, even though we're using expensive mics, because we just can't control the sound. It just bounces all over the place. It starts to kind of converge and amplify, and then you can't pick any audio out, and it just turns into trash. If that's what's happening in your area that you're recording right now, don't freak out. There are ways to fix it. It just depends on how much money you want to throw at the problem. Throw enough money at any problem, it's bound to fix itself, right? We're going to be talking about some different techniques, give you guys some different ideas. I'm going to use my TV studio recording area, workspace that I'm using, and talk about some of the issues I'm running into, how I've been fixing them, stuff like that. Let's start with, I'm not going to show you guys my room because I'm lazy to do that, too lazy for that. But roughly my room is kind of like a rectangle shape. It's 20 feet long by 8 feet wide. It's got about 9, maybe 10-foot ceilings in it. Ceiling is drywall, which is a hard surface, but it's not as bad as concrete. On the far side behind the camera where that couch is that I normally film at, drywall. To my right is a drywall slash cement slash gigantic windows, because this is like if you've ever been to Florida, it's like a Florida room kind of thing going on. Behind me, I actually have a sliding glass door. Right here, cement walls, and then a gigantic opening into my living room. Oh, and then my floors are tile floors. That's the circus I was working with when I first moved in here. Couldn't control the light, couldn't control the audio, it was just trash. If you walked in here initially and you did the clap test, pretty much the more of that ting sound you hear, like in the echoing, the worse your audio is going to be. So right now it's probably really obnoxious me doing this this close to the mic, right? Hello, can you hear me? Anyways, originally it was really, really bad. It's still not the best. I'm working on some stuff, but it's not what it was. What did I do to help with this room? First off, behind me, you can't really see it, right? I hung up curtains. But before we go into what kind of curtains I hung up, I do want to mention that the thicker the absorbent material you're using, the more of the sound wavelengths it's going to absorb. So if you're using 1-inch foam, you're wasting your money. It's only going to pretty much absorb your weaker frequencies, which is your high frequency stuff. It's not going to help with medium or low frequencies. Normally what I suggest, and a lot of people suggest online, is like go from like 2-inch foam, for example, and higher. The thicker the foam, the more the lower frequencies are going to get absorbed. Bass traps, for example, which go in corners, because that's a big thing. Corners like to bounce a lot of sound waves back and forth. Bass traps are like normally like 7-8 inches deep, and they're just filled with foam, and it just absorbs all the low frequencies. So anyways, boom, foam. We'll talk about more about that in a bit. The curtains behind me, I had two problems, right? I had light, and I also had sound issues because it's sliding glass doors. So I went with very thick solar blocking panels. I don't know, it was like ridiculous. But it was like blocked 99% of the light, which took care of my light issue. And then 2, it was actually meant for absorbing outside sound for people who like work at night and they sleep during the day. So I bought a bunch of panels for behind me to block the window. It also created a little bit of a gap between, so hopefully like it insulates because of the heat. So that's what I did with the sliding glass doors behind me. Moving on to my concrete cement wall with windows, same curtains. The curtains are actually about 9 feet across, and there you pretty much go ceiling to floor. Oh, same thing with the one behind me, ceiling to floor. And I was trying to cover up as much of that hard space as possible with the thicker curtains to help absorb my sound. My ceiling I haven't done anything with. I'm kicking around the idea of putting like 2 or 3 inch foam up there to just help. I really don't know if it's worth it. Cause like if you look on Amazon, like you don't like 1 inch foam, you can get like 120 square feet of it for like $40, right? But once you get it up in the 2 or 3 inch and the deeper foams, it's a lot more money. And like I'm not really sure if I'm gonna get my money's worth, if that makes sense. Like my audio's not that bad. Well, hopefully it's not that bad compared to what it is. There's other things I can do that I think would give me a better return. So I haven't messed with my ceiling yet. On the wall where my couch is, I went with that type of couch because it's really, really thick. A lot of stuffing in it, if that's what you wanna call. And it'll help absorb sound. So remember that if you're in a room with a lot of furniture in it, stuff to break up sound movement, you're going to get better acoustics than say a room with tall ceilings and all just hard surfaces in it. Like that's a sound nightmare. So couches, furnitures can also help with your sound. So I have that in the corner. I try to break stuff up with like setting up objects in different areas to just kind of help dampen the sound. It doesn't work too well. The big thing is my tile floor is next for me, and I'm on the fence. First off, I'm gonna be honest, I hate carpet. Carpet is a good option though to put on a floor because it helps deaden the material. The big thing is though, the thicker the carpet, the better it's going to be with helping insulate against sound bounce and stuff like that. So keep that in mind. And my option, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be laying some rugs down on my floor. Whatever, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be some fancy $3,000 rug, right? Go to Walmart, get you the rug that is not like, don't try and go with the cheap thin rug, right? Go with like the thicker ply, I think that's what they call it, rug, because the thicker it is, the more of the sound frequencies it's going to absorb. Throw a couple of those bad boys on your floor and you're going to instantly see a difference. Yes, I know it sounds like I'm being a hypocrite because isn't a rug and a carpet the same thing? Technically yes, but no, because the rugs I can throw out if they get too trashed. Yes, I can throw the rugs out. That's not recycling, I know. Or I can get them professionally cleaned, right? And yes, I know you can get your carpets professionally cleaned. It's just I feel that the rugs I can move. Carpet I can't. So that's just me. So I'm going to throw some rugs on the floor down the road, and that's going to help dramatically. Now, for walls, I haven't decided what I'm going to do. I might go with foam. I just don't like the way the foam looks. And yes, I know there's like panels that you can get that have cool designs in them, but I really don't feel like dropping $600 for a panel that's literally at the end of the day foam with some weird design on it. You can go cheaper than foam. There is a guy that I know, same dude that actually his computer that he uses doesn't have a case on it. It's literally just components. He carries it in a bag. I don't understand how this computer still works after all this time. But like he goes over like wherever like, to like because he travels and stuff like that to like fix people's stuff. He's like an IT guy, I guess. He'll take the components out of his bag, put it together, his computer, and that's what he does. And you ask him, he's like, I'm saving the money because I don't need a case. And I'm like, never seen that before. But I digress. In his recording area, he actually went with egg crates, or not egg crates, egg carton things on the walls. He literally just nailed them or stapled them to the walls, and he says it works. And in theory, it should, because it helps like absorb the sound and stuff like that. My whole thing is the smell, but he says there isn't a smell. So that's one option. If you know your family eats a lot of eggs, save the egg cartons and start putting them up on the wall. I'm not 100% sure how that would be with the fire marshal though, so just you might want to look into that. I'm all about safety and flammability. That's one option. With absorbing stuff, you're just trying to find material that is thick, not hard surface, that will absorb your sound. Another option you can do is heavy duty moving blankets, the stuff that they normally throw over furniture to help protect. Like they're really, really thick blankets, and you can get them for dirt cheap at Home Depot, I think. Another option is you could actually take some, 8-foot ladders, put a broom pole between the ladders, put one, well, I guess I can't see it out of frame, one to the right of your shot, one to the left, that's just out of the shot, right? You put the two ladders, put a pole in between the two ladders, just hanging there, kind of like you got two ladders, poles in between them, right? You do that on both sides, and then you just throw those heavy-duty moving blankets over the poles, and it kind of acts as like a little bit of a buffer for you, a baffle, if you will, on each side, and that'll help absorb your sound, and that's dirt cheap. And if your room is multi-purpose, you're done filming, ladders go away, pole, whatever, broomstick, whatever you're using goes back to where it goes, blankets get folded up and put away, and you don't have to worry about having a bunch of mess going on. And that's another option that's probably ridiculously cheap. Most people have ladders, a broom maybe, and some type of comforter, that's really, really ridiculously thick, would work well too. So I mean, you got to get creative out there. Just find stuff that's soft and you think can absorb sound. If you want to go a little bit more expensive, this is probably most likely what I'm going to end up doing, and if I do, I'll have to do like a tutorial video for everybody to watch. That'll be fun. I'm looking at making my own sound panels, so I'm thinking about I saw this on like, I can't remember where it was somewhere. Whoever it was, if they're watching the video and I found it from you, please let me know and I'll give you credit. You take a piece of plywood, you throw like some type of foam on it, or even go cheap, right? When they lay carpet, they put some weird type of like sponge material underneath of it. If you know the name, drop in the comments, let me know. I'm not a carpenter. You staple that to the plywood, then you wrap the plywood with the foam on it in whatever material you want. You can do like a fake leather, logo, whatever, doesn't matter, right? You wrap that around, staple it on the back, you mount those panels to the wall. You do a nice 1/4-inch round trim around the panel, and it looks like it was professionally done panel inserts along your wall. They give some kind of like design to like a bare wall, and they also absorb your sound, and they look nice. And that's a big thing, is like, especially if like your background, you want to try and have it look nice, and that's another option. So I think that's pretty much it for this video. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. If you liked the video and it helped you, please like it, subscribe to the channel. This lets me know what kind of content I need to be creating. Anyways, without further ado, see you guys in the next video.